Hey everybody. So I'm starting. This is the first video that's going up on my vlog channel because I did a walk and talk on Saturday, and people seem to like it, but at the same time, it's something that was pretty long, and some people are like, this doesn't belong on your main channel. Your other stuff is so good. And I was like, well, fine. Um, so, for those of you who feel like watching stuff on my vlog channel, go nuts. And for those of you who don't, it won't be on my main channel, so then I can devote my main channel to just comedy sort of stuff. Um, so it's been Sunday was not the best day, and I could not get to sleep. I tried to go to bed last night around today around 2 in the morning, and couldn't sleep. I got up again at about 4, just sort of dicked around on the internet for an hour or so, and tried to go back to sleep, and I think I finally fell asleep around 8 in the morning, and I don't know why. My brain was racing, and I usually fall asleep listening to audiobooks that I've listened to already, just so that, it's just the nice soothing voices and stuff, and just something that's calm and relaxing. And it wasn't working, and then I switched over to just listen to some classical music, and it just wasn't working. I tried nothing, it wasn't working. I tried meditating, which I don't do very well, wasn't working. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just, your brain is just like, wah! So I wanted to, there's a video that's going around, and I almost don't want to talk about this because I'm afraid that you guys might look it up and then be equally disgusted. And it's already been pulled down off of YouTube and Facebook, but it's basically a girl who ingests her own bodily fluids. And it's gross and disgusting, and the girl is 17. And technically, the video is legal, and it's just yet another of everybody, and of course the response to it is, as expected. A lot of people are watching, a lot of people are horrified, and, there are death threats and bullies and all that stuff, which, big surprise. And, it sort of has me thinking, because you always hear sort of the rhetoric of people that, we've got to do something to stop online bullying, we've got to do something to, and we have this culture where we glorify these freakish activities and stuff. And I think two things. Those aren't problems that can really be addressed. I think it's problematic to point the finger at society for glorifying people who do crazy things. Even after the Aurora shootings, people were freaking out about, well, if we didn't glorify, villains so much. Well, and that's not something of the times. It's a matter of, we're fascinated by things that are out of the ordinary, and that's part of the human condition. We were fascinated with Jack the Ripper. When people do things that are weird, we want to try and understand how anyone could do something so absurd. And so to try and put the fault on society is a little weird, and Kim Kardashian can go and screw around, and we're fascinated by, why is this person so messed up? And I think so when we throw things like, why does Honey Boo Boo have her own channel? That's ridiculous. Why do we? Well, you know what? It's because we're fascinated by it, and ultimately this is a medium by which we can explore that. And the issue isn't that we're presenting it; it's a matter of that these people exist and they're doing these sort of things. And I mean, there seems to be sort of an opinion that if these things wouldn't make people famous, then they wouldn't be doing them. And that's, I mean, that's true, but it made people famous forever. If you were a weirdo, people paid attention to you. Um, and so, I don't know, it just bugs me. But I do sort of wonder why it is so much. It does seem that it is a little bit different now than it used to be, just in that there's so much of a focus on popularity and why. I mean, it's like high schools that people feel like there's such a need to be famous and now internet famous. Um, and certainly the girl who created this video is now reveling in ha ha ha, I'm famous, piss off, whatever. It doesn't matter what you say, I'm famous, biatch. Which, all right, but to what end? And I don't think people think that through, and I think there's a mischaracterization there. I think if in high school, if you were well liked and you were popular, you were less likely to get beat up. There's a perk there. Um, you were likely to get opportunities that some people may not have, which is unfortunate. But I could see the justification for wanting to be well liked and popular then. Um, and I can understand when people, I can understand things like the Project Frostum, where it's yeah, we want to game the system and we want to get as many views and likes and shares as possible. And we want to be notorious for what we're doing, but so that we can help people, that there's something that we want to do with that. Um, if you're looking to be internet famous, I mean, sure, I guess Kim Kardashian doesn't have to work again, but she's well past that point. You didn't have to go screwing around that much to get to the point where you could support yourself and not work. It seems like an over exaggerated thing to do. Um, so I mean, I kind of wonder what the mentality is um, behind people that make those decisions. And obviously, it's hard because people who are um, younger people who are teens who are struggling with that, they don't necessarily know. And on the one hand, I don't want to condescend to anybody, but there is a point where you haven't considered it, you don't realize it, and I think that's a shame. And I don't think that's true of everybody. I think that there are plenty of 16-year-olds or even 12-year-olds or 8-year-olds who are very intelligent and self-aware, and they can look at the decisions that they make and they go, you know what, I'm not going to post compromising things on the internet because it may hurt my future, it may ruin opportunities for me, no matter what the short-term gain is. But I don't know. I don't know. I wish I understood where these people were coming from and what they hoped to gain from it. And I think it's unfortunate because you feel that way with everything. Whenever there's a shooting or an act of terrorism or just someone doing completely crazy, it'd be so much easier if I could understand, why. And I think, with some things you can. You look at, in 1994, in the 90s, there were extremist fundamentalists who murdered an abortion doctor. And that's one where, okay, I mean, there's an answer that you don't look at this person as we can't understand. It's like, okay, if you truly believe that you are saving lives by doing this, I can see how you would reach the conclusion that this was the right thing to do, even though I don't agree with it. But I don't see, how do you get to the point where you don't accept something, but you at least understand how they got to that point? So I don't know, and it's I grew up with the internet, and my life would be, 90% of what I do with my life wouldn't be here if it weren't for the internet. But when I was little, it was before the internet. I wasn't always on. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 17. And it's just, it's wonderful to see the way that the internet has helped shape communities, and I remember seeing Wikipedia take off and seeing YouTube take off, and but it's helped some people, and it's given other people a real focus for their neuroses, I guess. Because it's scary, just the desire for fame and the desire for importance, and I suppose, I mean, it's understandable. Everyone wants to feel like they matter and like they're significant. Um, but the the step that a lot of people don't make is that, well, and I don't even know if it's right, but I mean, for me, if I were famous for no reason, it wouldn't matter. If I were famous because I wrote a great book or wrote a great play or, produced some really great things, great, and I'll revel in that and I'll be excited. I'll try and be humble about it, but, why would you want to be famous just for yourself? I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. But there's another trend that just it worries me. There's so much of the fandom culture, and something that I guess I was a little less exposed to until I got onto Tumblr. But wow, and people have been talking about VidCon and Playlist Live, and how it's less about people coming and just celebrating what they do and enjoying it, as it is about meeting the people that you idolize. And again, I guess this is something that's always been around. I mean, we love reading. I mean, I don't, but a lot of people love reading celebrity gossip and that sort of thing. I mean, they want to feel closer. But to me, the whole idea of, I can't imagine a celebrity that I would just geek out over. I mean, there are people that I would sincerely just like. I would want to go up and just say and shake their hand and say, look, you have really shaped a lot of my life, and I just want you to know that, and I want you to know how much I appreciate what you've done, because it's really made a powerful impact. Um, the whole idea of just glorifying people beyond that, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I feel like, um, and maybe this is egotistical, but people get excited on my videos, and it scares me a little bit, and it's nowhere near to that extent. Um, But I imagine, and I watch a lot of the famous YouTubers, and I imagine, what must it be like to be there? If you go to a conference and people are just freaking out that you're there and freaking out that you talk to them, and oh gosh, that would make me so uncomfortable. I don't ever want to be at that point with my subscribers. I'm very aware and very appreciative of the fact that you're all people, and I want to treat you like people. Um, and the whole idea that you're just some mindless fan is terrifying. But I think that the fandom thing is really a matter of just sort of reveling in it. Um, and part of that is natural, because when you have um, it's you look at certain communities like the gay community or the feminist community or the black community or I don't know, atheists, and it's a matter of there's an extent to which um, when you feel really excluded by a certain by maybe a majority, but a fair number of people, that sometimes banding around a shared interest can be really helpful and can be a way that you can identify and try and find meaning in your life. But I feel like you have to get beyond that. You can't just be a gay person or be an atheist or be a black man or be, whatever the case may be. You are an individual, and you have, varied interests and tastes and thoughts and opinions, and that's something that we really need to emphasize. Um, and I don't want to get into the whole, you're a special snowflake, because, you're a special snowflake in a blizzard. Um, And but it is very much true. You are a special snowflake. It's just a matter of that's not going to automatically open any doors for you. So it's just a matter of kind of being aware um, that you are part of a huge community of people. But when we create these groups of just, okay, I am a Doctor Who fan, and that is how I live my life, or I am a Dan is not on fire fan. Well, great, but isn't that just one aspect of you? And why would you want to define yourself that way? And so, I mean, I hope that it really is like. I hope that it's like those other communities where it really is. It's a wonderful way to celebrate a shared interest, but it's something that you move beyond, and you don't define yourself that way. Um, so I don't know. I hope that I hope that that's not that we don't ever fail to recognize that everyone is an individual who's worth taking seriously and worth thinking about. Even the people we write off as crazy. Um, I guess this sort of loops that back around, and that we can't just write off terrorists as broken people or mentally deranged. We can't just write off people who do crazy, stupid, viral stuff on YouTube as mentally loopy. Um, we have to take them as an individual, and we can't just lump them in a pile of convenient anomalies. And I wish that I feel like if we respected that more, it would be easier for people to have to. I think if we respected the idea that everyone is an individual, it would be less necessary for people to go to really extreme lengths of either throwing themselves in a particular box or going out and doing something really crazy just for attention. So I don't know. So that's all I really wanted to say. This isn't a walk and talk because it's cold out and it's night, and I don't know. The city's busier on the weekdays, so it's harder to walk around. So I figured, I'd just do something inside because I felt like talking. It was cathartic for me. This is my selfish channel. So if you want to watch it, go nuts. But this is for me. So I'm sorry. The stuff I do for you guys is largely on the main channel. So. And I don't know. I mean, maybe this may end up being just sort of my dumpster channel, where if there's anything that I create that doesn't really belong anywhere else, maybe it'll go up here too. So I don't know. So we'll see where this channel goes. And yeah, so that was my rest of the weekend and Monday. And I hope you guys are doing great. And I will see you next time I make one of these. Bye.